after years of trying and failing, this one simple fat loss routine actually worked for me and my clients. 4 months ago, I finally got my shit together and started rebuilding myself. Since then, I've dropped my body fat from 30% to around 20% without any bullshit diet. In this video, I'll break down exactly what the routine is and why it worked when everything else didn't, and how you can copy it step by step. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to lose fat effortlessly on autopilot without having to eat less. Step 1. Wake up at 4 a.m. Just kidding, but the first part of the routine is nailing your sleep schedule. All my life, I struggled to get out of bed. Seriously, even if you put 5 sexy supermodels in my living room and $1 million, I'm still snoozing my alarm 10 times and I'm gonna wake up feeling like absolute shit. Every time I wanted to change my lifestyle, I'd power through it, try waking up at 4 a.m. and fail miserably every single time. But here's the truth, you don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. That's just unnecessary. What you do need is a consistent sleep schedule where you go to bed on time and wake up automatically before your alarm feeling fresher than a cucumber. And this is so important because if you start your day on the wrong foot, you're fucked, my friend. When your sleep is garbage, everything else is going to fall apart because crappy sleep wrecks your hormones. It lowers your leptin, so you never feel full no matter how much you eat. And it raises your ghrelin, so you're always hungry and craving more. And when you're sleep deprived, you're Godzilla and you're going to end up eating the whole planet just to feel normal again. You know what I'm talking about. So despite all the effort you're putting in to lose fat, bad sleep is always going to be dragging you 2 steps back. But it wasn't until about 3 months ago that I finally learned how to fix this. And I learned this from Dr. Andrew Huberman. So the goal is to naturally wake up feeling fresh a few minutes before your alarm goes off at whatever time you choose, saving you from that daily snooze war. Now that's your body clock, or what's called your circadian rhythm. And if you're not using it to your advantage, you're making this way harder than it has to be, bro. And by the way, if you're finding what I'm saying helpful, I guarantee I can help you lose 4.2 kilos of fat in the next month. All you need to let me do is email you the exact process and you'll get results like this. Anyway, so here's how you reset your body clock and make it almost impossible to fail your fat loss that day and guarantee results. There's 3 things we're gonna leverage. You know how your parent just wants to wake you up at 6 a.m. for no reason? Your hormone cortisol is like that parent. It's the thing that makes you feel awake and alert in the morning. So to spike up your cortisol right after you wake up and actually feel switched on instead of groggy and dead like a zombie, get in sunlight as soon as possible. Now, cortisol has an evil twin called melatonin, which helps you get sleepy at night. So when you get that morning light, you're not only telling your brain, wake up, let's go. You're also setting an internal timer so melatonin kicks in later when it's bedtime. If you can't get outside because it's dark or you work nights, grab a bright artificial light or like a daylight lamp. It's not perfect, but it's way better than nothing. The second thing is movement. If you wake up and lay around like a potato scrolling on Instagram, your body has no clue it's daytime. It still thinks you're in hibernation mode. Any form of light exercise or movement, even just a quick walk, has been shown to reinforce your body clock and help your brain realize, okay, we're awake, let's get moving. You don't need a marathon, just get up and move. Pump your partner if you need to. If you don't have a partner, get one of those VR things. I hear they're quite realistic and delightful. And the last one's optional. Some people like to fast because it helps them stay within their calories. That's totally fine. But if you want an extra edge, have something simple like water, coffee, or even a protein shake. Because eating early synchronizes your peripheral clocks, the ones that live in your liver, your gut, and your other organs. So your whole body knows it's daytime. That keeps your metabolism, your digestion, and your energy levels on the same schedule as your brain. If you wake up and in the first 90 seconds, you're in the sun, walking, sipping water, man, you are golden, literally, because of the sun. But why first 90 seconds? Because when you wake up, your brain isn't fully online yet. You're in something called sleep inertia, which is basically that groggy, half asleep state where your thinking and decision making are slow as hell. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps you focus and make good decisions, takes longer to wake up than everything else. It sounds like a bad thing, but it's fucking perfect for us. Because if you act in the first 90 seconds, You're moving before your brain has time to start arguing with you. You don't give yourself the chance to negotiate or overthink. You just get up and do it. This tiny window is when you can slip past your excuses and lock in momentum before that little voice starts saying, hey, fuck this ugly ass YouTube Calvin guy, he's full of shit. And that's 1 out of 4 pillars in our fat loss routine. This next one is the most important because it allows you to lose fat without any effort or eating less. And I only felt the true power of this because of this son of a bitch here. Literally. A friend of mine was traveling and I was dog sitting for a month. The first thing this little shit did was take a big shit on my brand new IKEA carpet. I had to walk him 2-3 times a day to make sure he doesn't shit anywhere else. But after a month, I started liking him and I was genuinely sad when I had to give him back. But in that 1 month of keeping him, I lost 3 kilos of fat and my belly fat noticeably shrunk. I didn't change anything because from all that walking in between, I was burning a lot of calories and I didn't even feel it. Now this pairs wonderfully with the first part of the routine, which is to get some sunlight and walk. Let me break it down exactly how to do this in the most strategic way so you can start losing fat effortlessly. So for every 2,000 steps, you're burning about 100 calories. So doing about 8 to 12,000, fucking hell, that's awesome. So if you're always hungry, instead of eating less, just walk more. And I know 10,000 steps might sound intimidating, but once you implement these next steps, it gets easier. As soon as you wake up, do a 20-minute walk. That's about 2,500 steps. Pick one place you drive to every day and park 10 minutes away. Whether it's work, it's the gym, or even the penis enlargement center, park further and get that 10-minute walk in and out. That's another 2,500 steps. And if you don't drive, just take a long cut to wherever it is you're walking to. And after one of your meals, have a 20-minute walk. It'll help you digest your food, feel better, and that's an additional 2,500. That alone gets you to 7,500 steps from planned walks. The rest is gonna come naturally just by choosing to move more. Walk to the grocery store instead of ordering or driving there. Instead of sitting at a coffee shop with your friends, catch up with them by walking at the mall or a park. And anytime you get a phone call, walk and talk. And if you're fighting with your partner, walk and fight. And if all this sounds too much, just schedule a single hour-long walk. Pick whatever fits your life best. Just make walking a non-negotiable part of your routine. Keep those feet moving and I promise you, you'll be shocked at how much fat you're going to be losing over time. And to be honest, I was always a bit of a lazy fuck, as in I'd sit down on the couch and I'm not moving my ass to switch on the AC, get the remote, because if I'm on that couch, I am the couch. But after this, I started feeling lighter. Getting up and standing became easier, and that shift in energy can really change your life. Now, as you do this, you're going to get lean. But when you're getting lean, you're going to get hungry. But lucky for us, we've got a bulletproof routine that keeps you full, focused, and dropping fat always. A few years ago, my ex's sister had her confirmation, which is a holy Catholic milestone. The priest and a bunch of holy people came for lunch. My ex made her famous brownies, 2 whole trays. Now, I was in a deep fat loss phase, fasting all day, so by 3 p.m., I was fucking hungry, man. I ended up eating the entire tray of brownies by myself, only to realize there was just 1 tray. So I ate the whole gathering's dessert alone. Ever since then, I've never seen none of these people, and I intend to keep it that way. Now, intermittent fasting can work, but for most people, it doesn't. Because what happens is you restrict yourself all day, and then you get insanely hungry, and you feel like you deserve a reward. Then you end up eating double the calories you would have without the restriction in the first place. And that's normal, man. Because when you're starving, you are not you anymore. You can't even think straight. So the key is simple. Never let yourself fall into that hunger zone. Because when you're satisfied and steady, you make better decisions. You're a nicer person. And based on research, we know that protein, fiber, and water are the trifecta for staying full. So we're going to use them at 3 checkpoints during the day so you never get to the point of being blackout hungry. So the first checkpoint is going to be before 10 a.m. You got to get in at least 40 grams of protein, 10 grams of fiber, and 500 ml of water. The second checkpoint is going to be somewhere close, maybe around 2 p.m. Same exact idea, a good amount of protein, fiber, and water. And the last checkpoint, do it around 7 p.m. or whenever you have dinner. It's just like with your partner. Imagine you're thinking about cheating on her because you're a piece of shit. But she's having sex with you at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. So you can't. because you won't be able to unless you're too satisfied to even bother looking around. The same thing happens here. If you stay fed and you're full, you're not going to go hunting for snacks you'll regret later. Now, the timing I gave you is just a rough estimate. Adjust it to your own schedule, but generally speaking, starting your day with 40 grams of protein is solid. You won't always be able to time everything perfectly, so always have snacks ready. Protein shakes, Greek yogurt, fruits, whatever floats your boat. Just keep that monster away from me. So aside from sleeping well and walking, you need those checkpoints locked in. This way, you're protected. You're on a good mood, you slept well, got the sunlight, had a nice therapeutic walk, and you're eating enough to feel full and energized. Now, you're going to lose a lot of fat following all of this, but this last pillar is what decides whether you end up skinny fat or looking like a Greek god. But if you make this crucial mistake, it's going to crush everything you're working towards. When I was younger, I bought a saxophone and I tried to teach myself. But it got too overwhelming and I sold it. But I bought it again and sadly failed again. I kept failing and giving up, never actually getting what I wanted. It wasn't because I was a terrible saxophonist, I think. It was because I had the wrong approach. Instead of finding something simple and sustainable, I went too hard, too fast. I just overwhelmed myself and burnt out and quit. I've been doing this for over 10 years and I've seen the exact same thing happen millions of times to people when they try to get jacked. Everyone thinks they need to train 6 days a week to see results. But the truth is, 3 days of focused, hard training is more than enough, but most importantly, it's sustainable and something you can actually follow. In fact, a lot of people doing 6 days a week are really just doing 6 wanky, half-ass sessions instead of 3 tough, progressive ones. So pick an approach you're confident you can stick to for the next 5 years and space out your sessions so you're always recovering properly and walking into each workout ready to train like an absolute savage. And there you have it. That's the routine. That's literally all you need to think about and nothing else. And one last bit of advice, be prepared the night before. If you know you're going for a morning walk, lay out your work clothes and your gym clothes so you're not running around. If you struggle to get out of bed, put your phone across the room so you have no choice but to get up and shut the alarm off. If you need 40 grams of protein by 10 a.m., then prepare your protein shake ahead of time. If you can't fit in your morning walk, then you have to block out a gap later in your day to make it happen. Now, it's never going to look perfect. It never does. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. But if you keep showing up, you keep trying, one day, all the pieces of the puzzle will click together. That's when everything changes. What matters most is you start getting small wins and build that momentum. And if you found this helpful, I'm confident I can help you so much more. So don't forget to sign up to lose those next 4.2 kilos. Now, even with all of this dialed in, there was one thing that held me back from building muscle for 5 years. So watch this video next because it could be holding you back too. And once you fix it, it'll rocket launch your results into space.